Governments are becoming more and more powerful, and one day it will be too late. Everyone is protesting in Hong Kong right now, but really what can they do to stop China if they roll their tanks over them? Bro, they killed 1,000 people in Tiananmen Square with tanks and made it illegal to bring it up, and guess what? They got away with it? For real. They erased history, and they are going to erase this protest too, and it will soon happen in other countries. People talk about Russia collapsing because of its economy, but it could limp on as totalitarian dictatorship for decades to come. And don't get me started on USA. That's the three superpowers, all of them pretty fucked up right now, and its citizens can't do jack shit. We are fucked. We are fucked. The government is supposed to be the tool of the people. We do not work for the government. It works for us. We the people need to reassert control over all levels of government. We need to tighten the leash on our dog. In democracies, the tools are there. We just need to use those tools. Throw politicians out of office. Calm down, just have more weed and video games and Marvel movies and processed snacks. Bro, they killed 1,000 people in Tiananmen Square with tanks. That never happened. /s. Subverted big government statists will preach about how good the government is until the jackboot is on their neck, and by then it will be too late. That's why revolutions happen, because eventually governments are put into their place. The problem is most people are idealistic and naive, and don't think of how the unintended consequences of their proposed policies or how they will be corrupted. When you look at the social programs of the 40s, 50s, and 60s, you see the government concentrating and subsidizing social problems, and this led to gang violence centered around the sale of drugs. The war on drugs followed, leading to an expansion of government power and the prison industrial complex. And people make fun of me for wanting small government. The largest problem with political power in the Western world today, besides populism, is the increasing political influence and power of major corporations with large monopolies. Socialist policies within a multi-party democratic system can work as long as it's in the form of safety nets for those less fortunate. Yes, they cost money, but so do the costs of large portions of the population living below the poverty line, or the costs of many people without access to health care, etc. These kinds of policies work well in large parts of Europe like France, England, Netherlands, Scandinavia, Belgium, Switzerland, etc. I'm much more afraid of the way corporations and lobbyists are able to influence American politics. We've seen this happen before. Read a history book. Hint hint. It already is too late. Stop complaining, start throwing Molotov. I hate the government as much as the next libertarian, but putting the USA on the same list as Russia and China is disingenuous at best. It already is, buddy. Yeah, China is doing the 1984 thing, but America is doing the Brave New World thing. Instead of the government controlling our every move, we have corporations dumbing down science, flooding our brains with pointless info, making laws complicated to kill little business, and lobbying the senators and representatives' aides, the people who actually do the speech writing, backroom debates, and policy production. People may say that corporations are divided, but not when they have an oligopoly or monopoly. Already, companies like Microsoft have passed through our antitrust courts without being divided. Also, even if a company like Walmart has a mere 15% share of the retail sector, they can lead the lesser companies to do as they do by using their market share power. Many companies unite in their lobbyism, because they have the obvious same goals. It is honestly too late to change the government or business in America. However, it is not too late to join a farming commune of your favorite flavor, income sharing or libertarian, or you can leave the country. You will have to be aware that every country has its problems. Changing countries just lets you choose which problems you face. But at least you can choose a country that has problems you can either tolerate or solve. Edit 1. I suppose you can become a sailor on a one-man sailboat and find odd jobs in any country. You might even smuggle drugs for Bitcoin or something. Either way, you still have options. There is no reason to panic. It's already too late, homie. If only there were a way that the people could stand a chance in a fight against the government. Can you explain what specifically you find wrong with the US? The US? Pretty sure big companies and lobby groups have a lot of influence on the government. LOL, the actual numbers for Tiananmen Square are closer to 10,000. Actually, if you pay attention to history, I'm pretty sure it's the other way around, but okay. This is why you see a bunch of LARPers on iFunny talk about how much they want to overthrow the government, but again, they're a bunch of LARPers who are scared of Boogaloo. Nothing we can do other than accept our government-issued food bits to use in the sustenance nexus. One bad post on your iPhone Luxi and Omega Siri will send your home address, location, credit card number, health information, and microphone and camera access to the IMAX Sentinels. Unlike China, the USA has a Second Amendment right to bear arms. The founders knew this could be a problem and this wanted the public to bear arms so not to get a tyrannical government. The public owns 300 million guns in total. How many guns does the 1 billion in China own? 0. And this time they have the technology to keep their hold. It's only a matter of time. Not to mention the amount of people on the far left and far right. No one thinks for themselves anymore. Fuck and the absolute state of the EU. Enough people accidentally voted to get Article 13 to pass, if I remember correctly. Popular. Rich people also are becoming more powerful. It's okay. Most people don't want freedom, and once they experience big government for a while they'll realize the value of it. It's a cycle. Democracy is a new thing. BTW, governments were always insanely powerful for most of human history. UK here, please don't leave us out of this. Our government has been chipping away at our freedoms and privacy for years. This is one of the most productive comment sections I've ever found on Reddit. Bro, they killed 1,000 people in Tiananmen Square with tanks and made it illegal to bring it up. That's not what happened. 1,000 deaths is a high estimate. Possibly only a few hundred people died, and most of the deaths didn't even happen in the square. It's also not illegal to talk about it, even state officials have talked about it publicly. Actually, the situation in the US isn't unsalvageable. You only need to find a way to either enlighten or silence the idiotic SJW outcry mob. Preferably enlighten. It's their idiotic views, opinions, and beliefs that, with every passing moment, bring the US closer and closer to a totalitarian regime where the government holds all of the power, individuals have no liberty and are basically slaves/serfs for the wealthy Democrats. And #X200B. And all of it begins with ignoring science and silencing free speech.